Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, fellow radiators of love, to Astro Fenixx, flying into the moment yet again, and radiating love as always. And as you can see, I have 6 different piles of cards here. So I decided that I would do a pick a card reading for this weekend because, as you may already know, we have a lot of intense energy going on. We just had the full moon lunar eclipse in Cancer. We had the Uranus go direct. We also have, of course, the major Saturn-Pluto conjunction coming up on Sunday. So I wanted to do a pick a card reading for all of this. I've been wanting to do these more anyways. In the past, I did like the variation of this where I used Pokemon cards and you would pick Pokemon cards. But for this one, kind of wanted to go, a little standard and just have the regular card too. But as you can see, we have 6 different piles here and 6 different stones to pick from. So essentially, you just pick whatever deck you feel resonates with you, pick whatever stone resonates with you, and that's going to be your message for this weekend and moving forward. And I would say that this message probably applies for like the next week or so, especially initially with all of these energies going on. And I really wanted to mention, about 6 months to a year ago, I had channeled different mythological creatures, quote unquote, for each of the signs. And for Cancer, I actually got the werewolf coming forward, which is funny because this was actually considered the wolf moon. And I think that was just pretty awesome how that kind of synchronized. And of course, werewolves, they show their true colors during the full moon. So this reading is sort of geared towards what is your true nature and your true colors that are coming forth during this time. So without further ado, we're just going to hop right into it. So this is going to be deck number 1, and it's my Labradorite that we have for this one. Deck number 2 has the rose quartz crystal. Deck number 3 has the Howlite crystal. Deck number 4 right here, we have Asterite. Deck number 5 here, we have the green Sardonyx. And deck number 6, we have the Lapis Lazuli. So if you want at this moment in the video just to pause for a little bit, kind of go over within your own conscious, your own subconscious, and just pick what deck is drawn to you the most. And we'll just kind of hop right into this. So thank you all so much for joining, for watching. Without further, just know that even though you're picking different decks, this is a general reading. So if it resonates with you, cool. If it doesn't, that's fine as well. If you have a couple of decks come out, like maybe deck number 1 and number 5 are speaking to you, I would say watch both of them. So I would say that probably the first one that you're thinking is probably most likely like the sun, and then the next one will probably be like the moon or something like that. So in any event, yeah, if you want to pick 3 for like your sun, moon, and rising, you can do that as well. But it's really just up to you. But without further ado, we're going to hop into this first one right here. So let me take these bad boys and put them off to the side. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need a bigger desk. 6. Alright, so for those of you who chose deck number 1 with the Labradorite, let's see what we got going on here. So we have fertility, we have earth, fill the well, we have the Ace of Wands, the 10 of Wands. Looks like we have, I want to say this is the moon, and we have the Emperor. Okay, so the first ones. You are definitely an earth angel or an earth goddess. That seems like it's really coming forth right here. The way that I was doing this is that each of these cards are supposed to be for one of the particular transits, but I think I'm going to just talk about it all together. But we have the card of fertility and the card of earth. So I drew 2 of these type of cards as sort of competing vibrations. And by competing vibrations, these are actually meant to be integrated. So we have fertility and we have earth. So for those of you who chose deck number 1, there is this sense that you need to really reconnect back to the earth, and that's actually going to increase the fertility within you. It's going to allow you to be a lot more creative. So I would suggest, going outside, grounding in nature, going to the park, going for a hike. But there can be some of you all that may feel like you haven't been quite fertile. Maybe your thoughts haven't been quite fertile. Maybe you have been feeling a little bit off and disconnected. But we also have this card of filling the well here. And this is about filling up our own cup. Filling up our own cup, before we really take care of someone else's. It's kind of like, when you're on an airplane, they say put your mask on before you assist someone else with theirs. I mean, what good are you going to be to another individual if you're not getting that sufficient airflow? You're not getting that sufficient flow in general when filling the well. This is dealing with water. This is dealing with, that sort of element. But we do have, interesting enough, we have the Ace of Wands here, and we also have the Ten of Wands. So there's this thing where it's like you can be super inspired to take an action, but then it goes like right to the end of it too. You're trying to find this bridge in between initiating something and seeing something through to the end. But then of course we have the Moon card and the Emperor as well. So this is very interesting because your true nature is coming forward as, like I said, I heard Earth God, Earth Goddess. That's the energy that I kind of got from this. What's interesting about this card is that you see this individual, and normally the Ten of Wands is about, you're kind of tired, you're kind of overworked, but it seems like this Lion here, it seems like they're almost sort of like reconnecting, That's what it looks like to me. What I like about this deck is that it kind of replaces the traditional symbols with other things. So in this case, it's bones. And the bones, when we die, that seems to be the only thing that's left, right? When something dies, the bones and the skeleton remains. And, when it comes to that fiery quality energy, I think the reason why they use bones as fire and not for earth is because, if you think about it, the first sign of the zodiac is Aries, the initiation, the spark, and it's fire. So you get that hot flame, you get that hot sun, and it would make sense that when everything is burned away, the only thing that can be left are the bones or the remnants of the bones, because bones can be burned too. Obviously, you have cremation and shit like that, but essentially bones are what's remain. So right now, a lot of you are feeling that aspects of you are being burned away by this full moon, right? You got the Moon card. You're being burned away, which is only going to leave rich soil. It's meant to leave rich soil from which you're going to be feeling a lot more fertile. And it's going to be this reconnection back to the earth. It's sort of like whenever an animal dies, it does go back into the earth. It's part of the cycle of life. Think Lion King. It's all a part of the circle of life. So, right now, some of you may be feeling that there is this restructuring and this burning away, sort of like the Phoenix rising. And you're going to be, it can be kind of painful too, because the Ten of Wands can be a bit of a painful energy just because we may feel tired or overworked. Some of you may feel overworked. We have the Emperor here too, which is about, giving orders and directing things and having this, the Emperor, as opposed to a king, was endowed by God to lead, right? So you may have like this sort of spiritual mission that you feel like you are called to do, and it's like you get really excited by it, but then you're also worried about all the work and hard effort that's going to take to put into that. Maybe you're feeling tired. So this is why I felt fertility and earth came back up, because it's asking you to, if you're feeling kind of drained at this moment, to reconnect back to the earth, to reconnect back to your roots, reconnect. A lot of times when we look at a tree, we don't see the roots. We just see, we see the trunk of the tree. We see the branches, the beautiful leaves, the changing colors, the fruit, the flowers. We don't see the roots. And it's like when you go back to your roots, when you go back into the soil, a lot of times, yes, in many ways people don't see you anymore because you're tending to the base, you're tending to your core. Fill the well can also mean, if you think of yourself as a tree or a plant, to water yourself. Some of you guys aren't giving yourself the sufficient amount of water. Drink more water. That's another huge thing. That's a very practical application of this part of the reading, is to drink more water, get better fluids into you, because then that's going to actually give you the energy to continue to take your inspiration and move it forward. So metaphorically, plants will only grow if you give them the attention that they need and the water that they need. So you have to water yourself, whether it's through certain activities, going outside, exercising, communicating with people, going out, connecting with individuals, connecting with your family, connecting with your friends. Whatever it is that are your deeper needs, they need to be fulfilled right now, but you have to take action and do it. You have to be the one to take action and do it. So let's see what we have for the dice roll. So we have, very interesting, we do have Uranus in Gemini in the 10th house. So definitely is a sense where I feel like a lot of you are definitely looking towards the future as far as like what your goals and ambitions are. Some of you may be wanting to change a career path or establish a better career path for yourself. But this is going to have to come through communicating with other people. You actually have to put yourself out there. So I think after you take this time to reconnect back to the earth and reconnect back to your roots, it's going to be time to go out there and to connect with other individuals. Other individuals that are aligned with your soul's path. And what I love about this too is that we do have the Fill the Well card, and we see these maidens here that are carrying the water back to their village, and they're working together. I guarantee you these maidens, they're not just bringing water for their individual family within that village, but for the entire village. But they all have to work together. This whole, Uranus and Gemini in the 10th house, it almost gives me the energy of ants, how they all work together for a common goal, for a common purpose. So you have to first get your own body on board. If you view your own body as a collective, if you view your own body as a collective of beings, because it really is, with all of the atoms and bacterium and all that sort of stuff, and most of it's good bacteria, but with all of that sort of stuff, you are a community of organisms, and you have to get the community of organisms on the same page. And then that's how you're going to be able to connect with other people. So that is for the group 1 for the Labradorite people. Let's see what we have going on for group 2, which is going to... Sorry, it kind of cut off there for a second, but we're still here. Anyway, it's time to get to group 2 for the Rose Quartz people. So we have passion, we have coherence, we have see the light, we have the card of temperance, we have the 5 of swords, we have the 8 of cups, and the Queen of Cups. Ooh. So whereas the other ones before are earth goddesses and earth gods, these individuals here are definitely more along the lines of like a more etheric or subconscious realm. We have the cards of passion and coherence. I know passion, but I'm going to read coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. And we also have see the light here. Alright, so the individuals with the rose quartz, I think this is awesome because when I think of a rose and when I think of rose quartz, I do think of the heart chakra, but I also think of the crown chakra and how to really coincide these two. But a lot of times what blocks us from connecting our heart to our crown is our mind. So we do have this 5 of swords energy here. And you can see he's looking into the mirror and he sees a whole bunch of different versions of himself. And he's trying to decipher, what the heck's going on here? So you have different passions and desires and creative potentials, and you're really wanting to put it out there into the world, but there is this lack of, direction as well as to how to direct this passion that you have, because your mind makes like, oh, I want to do this thing, I want to do this thing, I want to be this person, I want to be this person, and it's causing a bit of confusion. So there is this need to kind of get into the pool and to kind of bathe and to transform and relax. You can see the butterflies fluttering around this this woman who's bathing in the ocean. And you see there's an individual kind of looking from afar too, probably thinking he's about to get like, I don't know, get some good or whatever, but she's not really paying attention to him, and honestly, she's protected. So there can be people looking at your transformation from abroad, and they may think that either A, they could take advantage of you because maybe you're in a vulnerable moment, or B, they're looking up from afar and they're not quite understanding where you are going. We do have the Eight of Cups here too, which talks about leaving behind situations. But what's interesting about this card is, you know, she's sitting under this temple, and then there's like a bunch of dragonflies flying around her. So what I'm getting here is similar to group 1 of the sort of retreat back to self or reconnecting to the earth. This is sort of like a retreat back to your inner temple. And when you retreat back to this inner temple, you're going to meet this person. You're going to meet the Queen of, in this deck, it's the Queen of Gemstones. And it's funny because that gemstone kind of does look like rose quartz if you look at it. It's kind of pinkish purple. It could be amethyst, but it kind of looks like rose quartz. But you're going to meet this individual. So pay attention to your dreams, group 2, because your dreams are going to be revealing a lot to you right now. But what she is saying to you is to see the light. And if you're feeling like you're in a bit of a dark space right now, if you're feeling like you're in a bit of a dark space, you don't know exactly which direction to go, she's going to inform you on which way to go. The fact that we got the Queen of Cups here means that some of you may be dealing with the water signs. Some of you guys may be water signs. You may be dealing with a Cancer, a Scorpio, or a Pisces, or maybe you have your Sun or your Moon here. I'm feeling more Moon. Well, I'm feeling both Sun and Moon. I'm feeling passion. If you're resonating more towards like the whole passion side, you know, definitely Sun. If it's resonating towards the more Moon sign, then it's probably coherent. But these need to be integrated. They don't need to be battling each other. These are vibrations that you're wanting to integrate. Then, of course, you have to see the light. You have to be able to see your own light. You're looking into the mirror. You're seeing multiple different reflections. And there is this deep transformation. Some of you all probably may be engaging within habits that aren't really manifesting what you want, but you may be caught up in a cycle. So there's this need to retreat back to your inner temple, your inner intuitive temple, and to kind of sit there and to meditate. I've actually have seen it through meditations. A particular place that I go to within my space that I return to, and it's a temple. And I actually go there. I actually practice controlling the elements in this space. So, and you can do this, and this is all through your imagination. So this is where the see the light part comes in. Because you can see these individuals, it kind of gives me Peter Pan vibes, right? They're kind of flying around in their nightgowns. So there's this element of where this individual, this Queen of Cups energy, or Queen of Gemstones energy, wants you to feel like a child again. Wants you to remember what it's like to just imagine something. It's like, there's like a perfect example, like there's this commercial that comes on TV where it shows this little girl who's sitting inside of a box, and then it shows her flying around her house like it's a plane, but then it pans back to her and she's still just sitting in the box. So you kind of want to go about life with that sort of energy, where it's like your imagination sort of takes over, and there's no longer really this split in your mind because you're not trying to make necessarily logical sense out of it. You're just going with what feels best. You're going with what feels best. And if you go with what feels best, then this will automatically take care of itself. There won't be any more confusion. You won't be robbing yourself of your own happiness, robbing yourself of your own transformation. And like I said, your heart and your mind are going to be in sync, and then you're going to be able to, you're going to be able to really connect back to that crown chakra kind of energy. Sorry about that. Yeah. Let's see what we have for the dice roll, though. Yeah, there's passion all over this thing. We have Mars and Aries in the 6th house. Mars and actually no, excuse me, that's the ninth house. Mars and Aries in the ninth house. So there is definitely. Do you believe in yourself? That's essentially what it is. Because Aries is about the self. It's about the persona. It's about our character. And of course, Mars rules Aries. The ninth house is about belief. Do you believe in yourself? That's as simple as it gets. Do you believe in yourself? Your true self will be revealed when you believe in yourself. That's really that's as basic as I could put it. And honestly, it is pretty basic. Do you believe in yourself? Do you believe in your heart? Do you believe in your passion? Do you believe that you can transform your reality? Imagine big. Don't let your imagination be hindered. Retreat back to that inner space. Retreat back to your inner child. You gotta be like a mother to yourself. Take care of yourself. Alright? You can look into the mirror of the world and see a whole bunch of other people maybe doing different things, and they may be seemingly excited, but it's like sometimes we're this individual and then sometimes we're that individual. And we can be this individual, looking at other people and what other people are doing and wondering, should I be doing that? You gotta ask yourself if that's true or not. But she's just in her flow. She's not really worried about him. She's not really worried about what's going on around her. She's just in her natural flow. So if you're looking at someone else and you're wondering if you should be them, you probably shouldn't, because, or do what they're doing. You probably shouldn't, because I guarantee you they're not really worried about you like that. And if you were in your natural flow and state, you really wouldn't be worried about everyone else, but you would be happy for them. You'd be happy for their happiness. That's really what it comes down to. Okay, so that is group 2. Group 2 for rose quartz. Alright, so let's move on to group 3, which is Howlite. Group 3. Okay. Miracle. Alchemy. Don't sweat the small stuff. We have the Prince of Cups. The Page of Cups. We have the Four of Cups. Oh my gosh. Whoa, what's going on with you guys, group 3? We have the Six of Cups, and we have the King of Cups. Holy crap. Alright, first of all, there's probably some sort of connection between group 2 and group 3, simply because group 2 got the Queen, and group 3 got the King of Cups. But wow, there is a lot going on here. You are going through a major healing. This whole full moon lunar eclipse, Uranus going forward, Pluto Saturn conjunction is about healing, miraculous healing, and alchemy. You see how these colors look very similar? You got your purples and your reds and orange and golds, and the same thing is here. Even on this card, we have like this golden bear and like a purple heading, and then you get all cups. You get all gemstones. There is such an incredible healing that is going on with this group. Holy fucking shit. Holy. And you know what's funny? This is called Howlite. It's called Howlite. So this honestly is mainly just this is really just the eclipse. Like really, like this group, like this eclipse for you was intense. Some of you may be cardinal signs. You know, you may be an Aries, a Cancer, a Libra, or a Capricorn. You may have had this energy square you, so you may be Aries or Libra. But holy crap, like Howlite, you guys are howling to the moon. I'm almost getting like images of like, it's gonna sound weird, but like, you know, the slaves who are on like the cotton fields, whatever, like that, singing like the old like slave like spirituals or whatever like that, singing to the moon and singing to the stars and shit. But oh my goodness. So what I see here is an evolution. Okay? We start off with the page right here. You go to the 4 to the 6, and then you get to the King. So this is sort of like a timeline of what's going on. You had like the page, I like to see it as the initiate or the student. He's learning to create jewelry, and he has like this primate with him too, right? So you're learning how to follow your emotional guidance system by putting one step in front of the other, in a sense, right? You're learning how to tap more into your intuition and to trust your intuition. Then you get to the Four of Cups, which shows this individual laying in the bed, there's a shaman over him, communicating to the spirits and beings that are attracted to him. So sort of acting as a sort of medium. So there is this sort of like sleepiness to this. It's almost like you're in a walking dream. And then you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror and the mirror is shattered. And you're wondering, what have I become? Animal, what have I become? And then there's the king. So it's like a lot of times we look at the king, we look at the individual that overcame, the individual that leads, the individual that has this sort of power that people look up to, but we don't see their past. We don't see the parts where they looked in the mirror and they felt broken. We don't see the parts where they felt like they were just in a dream. Maybe they had a nightmare or something like that, or maybe a dream didn't necessarily come to fruition. This transition right here, it can mean you waking up from a dream, or maybe you had a dream that literally broke and shattered in front of your face, and now you don't know what to do. But there is sort of, like I said, this energy of remembering where you came from, and remembering that you came from a miracle. The fact that you were even born was a miracle. We look at this world and we see the abundance. We see that there's almost 8 billion people on this earth. But if you consider for a moment the sheer possibility, like the rarity of you being here as you are right here, out of all the semen that could have reached the egg, the particular semen that reached the egg that produced you is so incredibly rare that it is nothing short of a miracle. I love how this card appears right above these two. So there's alchemy that's going on, transformation that's going on with this 4 of Cups and the 6 of Cups, where it's already a miracle. You are like a prodigy in a sense, right? And then we had don't sweat the small stuff. So it's like the king seems like he doesn't really sweat the small stuff, right? But even kings get roused up. Even kings get flustered. Even kings get worried. But then they remember how they transformed the situation, and they remember how they were a prodigy. They remember that they are a student. They may be a teacher to some, but they are still a student at this craft. You guys are going through a major transformation. Don't sweat the small stuff. This is a time right now, for those of you who chose this group 3, Howlite. You are the werewolf. Like, you are like howling to the moon. Ooh! Like, and it's like, I get it, that's more like a howl for joy. It may not feel like it right now. It may not feel like it right now. I always get the sense that if you chose this deck, this healing is going to be made a lot more apparent once the sun reaches Aries and goes over Chiron. And then you're going to be revealed. It's like, oh wow, I've overcome so much. I've overcome so much. You know? It's almost going to be like you've woken up from a bad dream. And yeah, you may be looking into the mirror at the shattering of who you thought you were, but look what you're becoming. A king. On top of the world tortoise. A king. Or a queen, you know, for some of you. Like I said, I feel like there's maybe a correlation between this one and the last one in group 2. I feel like there may be some sort of correlation between those two. It could almost be like some of you, if you're like in a partnership, maybe the first one could be your partner and this one could be you. Or vice versa. Although I'm getting the sense that the first one, group 2 would be your partner. If you had to if they're not into this sort of stuff, you know, whatever, I guess you could show them and stuff. But it'd be kind of interesting, you know, let me know in the comments below. Like, if you have a partner, even if they're not into this stuff, like, have them pick one. And it'd be kind of interesting to see if they pick number 2 or not. I feel like there's some sort of correlation here, though. I really do. You know what? I think for those of you in this group, you may have promised yourself things, you know, and they're kind of shattered. I'm trying to remember the exact lyrics. I have to feel like I have to sing the song in my head. It's like, oh yeah, all my life I wish I broke mirrors instead of promises, because all I see is a shattered conscience staring right back at me. That's from Tidal Wave by All City. So there can be that sort of element right now where it's almost like, you know, breaking a mirror is already bad luck, but there may be this sense where it's like, oh, I kind of wish I broke the mirror instead of all these promises I made to myself and other people, because now I feel like my conscience is shattered, and I'd rather my conscience be shattered than a mirror be shattered. Like, there's that sort of energy. Don't sweat the small stuff, though. You can't really help what's been done. All you can do is focus on the moment and change things in the now. But realize that you are a miracle. You have the ability to transform any situation, any occurrence. You have the ability to transform. But look where you're going, or look where you are, and look how you're just going to overcome all of it. It doesn't even stop. Look at this. We got Jupiter in Pisces in the 4th house. Do you believe in miracles? Holy crap, like how synchronistic can this get? Jupiter already is a co-ruler of Pisces. It'd rather be in the 4th house than where it is right now, the 10th house. So some of you guys may be Cancer, or be a Cancer moon, or Cancer rising. But Jupiter in Pisces in the 4th house is how it is like turning our home into a sanctuary for of adventure, in a sense. You know, the 4th house does rule the home, it rules the sanctuary, it rules the childhood. Then you have Pisces, which is about magic and inspiration and imagination. And of course you have Jupiter, which is about the adventure and in many ways curiosity and going out there and learning. You know, I get the sense that a lot of you are super psychic growing up. A lot of you guys were super psychic growing up, and maybe you went to sleep. Maybe you were told to go to sleep because, you know, you maybe told your parents that, hey, I saw a unicorn the other day, or I saw this being in my room, or maybe a lot of you lucid dreamt a lot growing up, or maybe a lot of you guys astral projected a lot, and then you may have, you know, put a halt to these abilities because it wouldn't allow you to be accepted by other people. But this is saying to go back to that. If a lot of you were child psychics and we just didn't really have the term for it, or we didn't really have, it wasn't really expressed too much. This is a huge, yeah, a lot of you guys are just super psychic. I'm just going to say that. A lot of you guys have been psychic since you were a child. So, seems like those abilities are coming back up to be explored and to be expanded upon. All right. Group 4. Group 4, we have Asterite. What do we have going on? Compassion, solar plexus, lend a hand, the card of justice, the 3 of cups, the 7 of swords, 7 of bows, the magician. Compassion, solar plexus, lend a hand, card of justice, solar 3 of cups, the 7 of swords, and lend a hand. A lot of you guys are helpers. A lot of you guys are beings from other dimensions that have come to Earth to assist in the evolution of this planet. And they're, with this compassion and solar plexus chakra, they seem a little diametrically opposed in a sense, because sometimes with the solar plexus energy we can be more focused on our own self and our willpower, but then compassion is about showing up for other people as well. So this is the whole thing about how do I fill up my cup and, you know, commit to myself while also committing to another individual. And you have the lend a hand card here, which is an individual who's afraid to walk across this bridge, but you're kind of coming back to meet them. Or maybe you're afraid to walk across this bridge and someone's coming. So there's this sense where there's a lot of community aspects here. We have the card of compassion here. We do have the card of the 3 of cups, so connecting with other individuals. Some of you guys are looking for your soul tribe and your soul family. Some of you guys are like really looking for it. And it's like you're wondering if you're ever going to actually find these people and find these individuals. But what really this whole situation is going to reveal to you is that you are the magician. You know, you are the magician. Actually, no, excuse me. This is actually the high priestess. Excuse me, not the magician. This is high priestess. But no, that actually still kind of applies. You're standing. It's almost like you're standing in between two worlds, and you're trying to. You're standing in between the obvious world and the subtle world, and you're trying to give information to other people. And there can be this sense with the Seven of Swords here, though, which in this picture it shows an individual kind of flying above this town, and there's a bunch of lemurs. I get the feeling that he's astral projecting. You know, I get the feeling that he's astral projecting. So this card kind of almost takes this meaning and kind of throws it in a different way. You can see how there's like stuff growing on the buildings and everything like that. Everything's kind of overgrown and stuff. Typically, this is the card of like backstabbing people, or kind of like, you know, taking from other people and stuff like that. But I get the sense that you're wanting to give more. You're looking for justice. Some of you guys may be social justice warriors. Some of you guys may be getting into unnecessary arguments on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. But you're doing so from a place where you're saying that it's because you care about people and you have compassion for people. But there's also this element of like, you know what? You still got to take care of you too. And not everyone's going to get it. And when you lend a hand, not everyone is necessarily going to accept your help as well. I think that's where some of the frustration could come in with the Seven of Swords, because you almost feel like people are robbing you of the opportunity to give them sort of assistance. Some of you may be giving unsolicited advice to people and they're just not asking for it. Or maybe you feel like you're receiving unsolicited advice from other people and you don't necessarily want it. You gotta let people. You're only going to be able to help people to the degree that they want to be helped. So some of you guys may be counselors or consultants and stuff, or want to be, or you kind of step into this role within your family dynamic, and people may look at you as like, oh, here she goes, talking about astrology again. Oh, here she goes, talking about crystals again and meditation and stuff, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that can be frustrating. So then you would detach and you kind of would astral project into your own world, into your own dimension and stuff. But you got to remember, you know, you can connect with the right individuals with this Three of Cups energy. And this is about having compassion for yourself and being patient with yourself. But you are definitely super intuitive, because you're sitting in between these two worlds and you're channeling these messages back to the collective. I'm interested to see what the dice roll is. So we have, wow, we have Neptune and Taurus in the 12th house. So Neptune's where it likes to be, but it's in Taurus. Life is but a dream. That's really what it comes down to, because Taurus is fixed Earth, so it's like the most obvious energy in a sense. But then you have this 12th house Neptune energy, so this is almost sort of gives me bottom of the ocean kind of vibes. You may be, there's this sort of element of kind of having to create your own light. I'm getting the image of creatures on the bottom of the ocean that haven't been exposed to the light, and they have to create their own light source so they can move around that environment. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm getting the sense of deep underwater currents that are about to erupt and make themselves known to you. And by deep underwater currents, this can be people that make themselves known to you, communities, maybe a new job, a new opportunity, something comes up. It's going to make itself known to you. But I think this is pretty interesting with the Neptune in Taurus, 12th house. This is definitely very dreamy energy. So some of you guys may find yourself astral projecting a lot more now. You may be having a lot more lucid dreams. But I think also what's going to be happening is that you're probably going to be visited by an angel or an ancestor that's going to lend a hand to you. And it's going to help you to have more compassion for yourself and have more compassion for other people, while still also having the willpower to go for what you want. And this whole idea of scarcity I don't know why I'm feeling the need to say this, but this whole idea of scarcity is just going to get thrown out the window. You're not even going to know what scarcity is anymore. You're not even going to know what it is anymore. Because Neptune already is about like these like just infinite possibilities, right? And then Taurus is about value and self-worth and in many ways money. So some of you guys may stumble upon some incredible money opportunities that may just kind of blindside you and come out of nowhere. You may be inspired by a dream, or you may be inspired by an angel or an ancestor that visits you in a dream. Just go for something, you know? Just go for something. And I think some of you may be feeling like you may rob from other people, but I think you'll be robbing from yourself if you don't allow yourself to do this. And justice will be served. The right pieces will fall into place, and those things will take care of themselves. I do get the feeling that you are definitely a helper, and you want to help people, but you also have to help yourself and allow yourself to be helped. I think some of you have been counseling other people for such a long time that you forgot what it's like to have someone counsel you, or to be on that receiving end. So I think there's going to be an individual that approaches you. I think you'll have an angel or an ancestor that approaches you in a dream, so look out for that over the next week or two. But you probably also have someone in your waking physical life that also approaches you and lends a hand to you, because you're walking across a new kind of bridge that a lot of people haven't been on, but there are beings and individuals that have walked across this bridge, and it's this bridge to a higher evolution, and they're going to come and help you because they see your value, they see your worth, and they see your truth. So that's group 4. Group 4, we're moving right along. Okay. So, group 5, we have the green Sardonyx. Ooh. Transition. Magic. Let it flow. We have the Fool card. Oh, here's the Magician. Oh, wow. We have the Queen of Wands too, and the Wheel of Fortune. Holy crap. This is kind of similar as far as the potency of the energy. This is pretty similar to group 3. Holy crap. Transition, magic. Let go and flow. Oh, you are on a spiritual mission. Holy crap. You are definitely you are definitely some sort of light worker, star seed, something else that we haven't even come up with. It's probably what it is, but you are here to transform this world through the magic of your being. And in order to do this, you have to let go and flow. I think there's this sort of energy and element where it's like anything that hinders your truest expression, it's not going to allow for the full magic of who you are to come through. It's just not going to happen. You got the Fool card, which is saying to be free, to be wild, to go out there. You have the Magician that's saying that you can manifest anything, and then you get magic. So you literally have both of these energies. You got the Magician and magic. And then, of course, this is going to allow you to turn into that the King of Wands energy, which is interesting. He's on top of an alligator. And alligators are kind of a sign of transformation and how this sort of transference of energy and how death always yields new life. And then, of course, you have the card of transition, which is arguably probably one of the most beautiful cards in this deck, but also probably one of the most mysterious and dark cards in this deck. It almost sort of looks like part of a DNA strand or something like that. And then, of course, you have the Wheel of Fortune. So I feel like almost to you right now, life kind of feels like a bit of a gamble, and it's kind of like a bit of an open card. It's like you're playing the lottery right now, and you have no idea what you're going to get. But I feel like no matter what you get, you're going to be able to make the best of it. Yeah, you're going to make the best of it. But there has to be, even though there are some intense energies here, as far as you have the ability to initiate new changes and be able to impact the world with it, with your magical abilities, and just kind of be free-flowing and stuff. I feel like there's almost sort of like this feeling of like you're kind of at a crossroads between your responsibilities and then your freedom. You know, the King of Wands has responsibilities, but the Fool, the Wayfarer, who's just out and about and going with the flow, he's, you know, he doesn't really have as many responsibilities, right? He probably lives in his van and travels around in his van. You know what I mean? He doesn't really have like a solid home or whatever like that, but the home is his van, the home is his body, the home is the land, the home is wherever he goes. But then the king, he has responsibilities. You know, he has duties. I think what's going on here is that a lot of you may be feeling like you're either one of these, and you may be afraid to become like the king or this royal-like figure, and then potentially lose your the ability to just flow with life. But this individual was probably an adventurer. It was the Fool at one point, and did all of these crazy things and all these magical things, went to all these crazy places, met these amazing people, and then that actually allowed him to have the ability to lead, but also inspire new actions and new things to come forth, you know? So this is sort of the energy where it's like, if you feel like you haven't really quite made a decision on what to do right now, you kind of are just going with the flow of it, you can still go with the flow and still have your duties and responsibilities. I know that sounds weird, it sounds diametrically opposed, but it really isn't, especially when you consider the fact that the second house to Sagittarius, which Sagittarius is the wayfarer, the adventurer, the second house to Sagittarius is Capricorn. So they still value structure. They still value, in many ways, responsibility, which seems kind of weird, right? It seems odd, but you still need both of these energies. Anytime that two signs are next to each other, it can be sort of like an alpha and omega kind of energy. Like obviously you can think of Aries as alpha and Pisces as omega, but you can do this with any two signs that are next to each other. And they can flip-flop too. So Pisces can be alpha and Aries can be omega. So if you wanted to look at it from that standpoint, there is this sort of energy between, I'm getting the Sagittarius Capricorn, you know, split of where this is happening. It could be another split, but that's just the one I'm getting and what it's between. There is this sort of thing where it's like you kind of want to do the Sag thing and just go off and be free and be a free social butterfly and do whatever and I make commitments. But then there's a part of you that's like, but through commitment I can establish things and I can help to create things and stuff like that, and I want to do that as well. And it's sort of like you're playing Russian roulette and you're wondering where it's going. You're wondering where the dice is going to fall and stuff like that. You want to be able to have both worlds. You are magical enough to have both worlds. But do you believe in yourself? Mars in the first house, Virgo. This has everything to do with your day-to-day reality and who you are on a day-to-day freaking basis. So what do you do when you first wake up in the morning? What do you do? How do you serve yourself? How do you serve your energy? This is something I gotta personally work on. Is the first thing you do is look at your phone? Do you give gratitude and thanks for the day? Do you have a drink of water? Do you meditate? Do you do breathing exercises? Who are you first thing in the day? Who are you first thing in the morning? And here's the thing, you can integrate these into your life. Say that you have like a business where you work somewhere and you have to take care of your responsibilities. You can still integrate the energy of the Fool into like the first part of your day or after your work. You know, you can use the first part of your day for your creative exploration. You can do that. And then when that flows into the other parts of your day, it's just going to make your day that much more fulfilling. So for you all who chose Asterite, I mean not Asterite, Sardonyx. For those of you who chose Sardonyx, I think it's really important. The morning, the first 30 minutes when you wake up in the morning, for like the next week or two, is going to be very important in determining how your day is going to go and your vibration, and whether or not you're going to be able to sense just how magical you are. Because the magic's not going anywhere. It's inherent. But those first 30 minutes are going to be very important, I would say. Okay. Moving right along. And last but not least, we have Lapis Lazuli. Lapis Lazuli? Lapis Lazuli? I say Lazuli, so. We have Tantric Journey. Uh-oh. Oh, oh. We have the card of Dynamic. Listen to the music. The Sun. We have the Ace of Ace of Swords, excuse me, or Ace of Bows in this deck. We have the Seven of Pentacles, or Drums in this deck. And then we have the Queen of Drums. This is interesting how it ends off. So those of you who chose Lapis Lazuli, this one is definitely geared towards relationships, I feel. And it's not just because Tantric Journey is here, but I feel like, you see how it's almost like this person's taking a shot towards the sun or something like that? I feel like in many ways you're kind of taking a shot towards something or someone. You know? You have listened to the music and then she's playing the drums too, right here, the Seven of Pentacles. So there's a sense of harvest and building up to something. But, you know, what's cool about this is that she's near the ocean too. She has like the birds flying around her. You know? So it's about it's like writing a song and then listening to it and then appreciating what you wrote, appreciating what you did. Tantric Journey and Dynamic, though. This is interesting. I think some of you right now you're looking to connect with someone who's definitely a very dynamic person, but you're wondering if there's some sexual chemistry there or some intimate. And it doesn't have to be sexual, but you're looking for intimacy. You're looking for intimacy. You're not really looking for just sex. You're looking for intimacy. So for those of you who may have been sleeping around and not wanting to get into a relationship and shit, what your soul really craves at this point in time is intimacy, and not just empty meaningless sex. Someone just put it pretty blunt and honest there. You're looking for something deeper. So it's like if you've been feeling a little off lately, and if you're sexually active, look at the people that you're having sex with, and you know, you gotta listen to the music. Maybe the music has ended on that relationship or that connection, whatever, and it's time to look for someone a little bit more sustaining. Something that you can build with. Something that you can feel inspired by. There's so much music going on here. You gotta listen to the music. We have these individuals right here that are dancing and singing music under the sun. We have this individual too. Like, there's a lot surrounding music here. I feel like some of you may find yourself going to some sort of musical event over the next couple weeks or next month, and you may meet someone there. That would be pretty freaking cool. Pay attention to the music that you're listening to. Because when Tantric Journey comes up, yes, we think of sex with an individual, but you gotta think, sex is really just two energies coming together to create another energy. So you can have sex with music. You can have sex with really anything. If you're coming together and you're creating a third of something. So you gotta think that. Think of the music and how it's having sex with your ears, and then it creates a sensation within you. So you gotta look at the kind of music that you're listening to. What kind of music do you listen to? That's really important here, I really feel. It's really important. Then, of course, you have this Queen of Pentacles energy, which is, she's very independent. She knows who she is. She knows what she wants. She's sitting here with these bear cubs here, right? The bear and the bear cubs. She's not worried because the bear's not going to attack her. The bear knows that she means well. The bear knows that she's powerful and is in her truth and in her authenticity. So she has no problem with letting her pet her cub, right? Because there is a sense of honor. Like, the queen honors power in other people too, but she doesn't back down because she knows her true value as well. She's able to acknowledge someone else's value and power without the need to put down her own power. So some of you all may meet an individual. This Queen of Pentacles could be another person. I'm getting the sense that it probably is. It doesn't necessarily have to be an earth sign or a moon and earth sign or earth rising, but somebody who simply knows their value and knows their worth and truth. If you chose this group, Lapis Lazuli, group 6, You may find yourself in a relationship in the next couple of weeks if you're not already in one. If you happen to be in one, I feel like your connection has the potential to deepen and to become more fruitful and to become more joyous. But you know, with the card, for those of you who happen to be in a relationship, I think what's going to be weird is this dynamic card as well as the Ace of Wands and the Sun card. Be careful at shooting down each other's ideas and inspirations and trying to project what you think they should do onto them. If you are in a relationship, let me say that again. If you are in a relationship, these cards have the potential to help deepen your connection and truth with that individual and to express more of your authentic self and therefore create more of that unconditional love for each other. But be sure to not shoot down the other person's ideas and inspirations. If that's truly what they want to do and that's truly what resonates in their heart, be sure to not shoot it down because of a preconceived notion or what you want them to be. You gotta let them have their own experience. We have the moon in Aries in the 11th house. That is, oh wow. So, yep, connecting with another individual, probably within a collective. If you happen to be single, be prepared to meet somebody. And be prepared to have your socks knocked off because you're gonna see them, and music is gonna start playing in the background, like and it's gonna be like a light that just kind of shines on them. Suddenly, you'll be like in a random. There won't even be windows where you are, and the light will just suddenly like shine down on them, and then you're gonna see like birds, like little doves flying around them, and you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, who is that? Also, I would just say be careful and try not to project this whole idea that they are your twin flame or your soulmate onto them. Just go in it with just go into it open. Don't try and don't project too much. This whole projecting thing, as far as like shooting down someone's inspiration or idea, whatever like that, or what they want to be. This also goes for if you're single. If you happen to meet someone who's really, really cool and really, really awesome, please, 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 please do not project this whole idea onto them that they are your twin flame or your soulmate. Just let it be what it is. Just let it be what it is and listen to the music. You don't have to try and overly interpret the music, okay? Just enjoy it. Remember, Queen of Pentacles. Acknowledge the power and value in someone without putting down your own. And don't try and necessarily project onto them what you think that they should be or you think that they are, because that's actually going to kind of lead you down a journey that you do not want to go down. Okay? I'm not saying that twin flames and soulmates don't exist. I'm just saying that a lot of times we like to say that someone is something, and then we get to know them a little bit better, and then we find out about a quirk about them that we don't really like, and then we get upset, and then we break up with them, and then we're like, I wonder what happened. I thought that was my soulmate, and then it's a freaking vicious cycle that continues to happen. I feel like people really give up on relationships too quickly within the spiritual community because they project this whole idea that they're a twin flame or a soulmate or whatever it is, a divine partner, and then they realize that they are human too. Yes, we are all spiritual infinite beings, but we are all still human. So you gotta remember that. I think that's a good reason why the Aries came up on this, because it reminds us that we are all still human. We're all still us. We're doing the best we can with our given circumstances. Alright. I'm going to pull one more card for the entire collective. Or two more cards, since two cards came out. We have the card of Reach Out and Stop. What does that mean? Just because that just seems weird. Yeah, reach out and then stop. Stop what? Okay. Reach out, stop, and rise and shine. This is for everybody. I don't think this means to stop reaching out to people. I think this means just to stop reaching out to people that don't allow you to rise and shine. I think that's really what this goes down to. You still want to reach out to individuals. We're still very much so community based and we need each other and stuff like that. But stop reaching out to people that don't really give you the sense of helping you to rise and shine. I think really that's where it comes down to. The end. I mean, this is from the Answer is Simple Oracle, so I don't need to really over complicate this. Stop reaching out to people that won't pick. Like he's about to pick her up, so you literally rise. Don't stop reaching out to people that don't allow you to rise and shine, or don't rise and shine themselves. We're just gonna cap it at that. Anyways, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. I hope that you all enjoyed it. If you would like a personal reading with me, beloved, you can always follow the link in the description below to astrofenixx.com. I do tarot readings, astrological birth charts, and of course 2020 reviews and coaching. So if you would like to get in touch with me, I also do just basic like tune-up readings as well. And I have another kind of service that I'm going to be bringing to you all soon. I'm just kind of announcing here, but not going to go into the full details until I get more of that stuff done. But anyways, all of those descriptions, all of those links will be in the description below. But I hope you all have a lovely weekend. I hope that you all have a lovely eclipse, Uranus going forward, and of course the Saturn-Pluto conjunction. Be safe out there, be careful, but be you, be yourself, and don't apologize for being yourself. And I love you all so much. Y'all take care, stay blessed, and as always, my beautiful brothers and sisters, always remember to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.